In these strange, chaotic times we're living in, we find ourselves juggling parenting and work in all new ways. We find ourselves caring for loved ones from a distance, figuring out who to trust and who not to trust. We are navigating a whole new world. Hi, I'm Pastor Vicki Lovell, and I'm a clergy person in the ELCA. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I have a hard time separating my life from my calling. And when I intertwine the two, it really makes me tired. It gives me some compassion fatigue, some soul sadness, and an overall sense of weariness. But it's not physical tiredness, it's more of a deeper soul tiredness. And it forces me to be disconnected from people and even disconnected from myself. But Jesus tells us, "Come to me all who are weary and I will give you rest." So how are you getting rest? How are you caring for yourself? Maybe it's time we learn a little bit more about self-love. Maybe it's time to start living red.
Hi, I'm Danielle Groth, and I'm a mindfulness practitioner, and I'd like to welcome you to the Emmerich Retreat Center, a little slice of heaven that's tucked away in Brighton, Michigan. And it's what we envision and hope to be the future home of Living Red, a place where you will recharge, engage, and discover.
The Emmerich Retreat Center is 26 acres of tranquil, serene God's country, and it's nestled right beside 5,000 acres of state parkland. And on this property, you'll see birds and butterflies, nature trails, and there's an unbelievable prayer labyrinth that you can walk through, along with a chapel and obviously some dorms. And this is a place where, for me, I escape to experience God. As a pastor, I spend a lot of times within the walls of a church. And even though I know that's where we're teaching the gospel, it's here where I feel the gospel. We talk about Jesus' love. It's here where I feel Jesus' love. And my hope is that you come and experience this as well, where you can recharge and you can engage and you can discover something about yourself and about God's love that maybe you didn't know before. It's truly magical here.
The experience here at Emmerich is unlike anything that I've ever experienced before. There is just something so special here, and the Holy Spirit comes out and just fills you and brings you this inner peace and this calm, and really allows you to get in touch with yourself and brings this relaxation like you've never experienced before. And it's just beautiful, the butterflies and the flowers that are around you, and it just allows you to take a moment and really get back with yourself, to reconnect with yourself. And when you do, and that Holy Spirit stirs in you and you feel it, you cannot help but want to invite people and to share it and to be here, because it's about being here. You have to be here to get it. And once you're here, you'll keep coming back. It's a magnet.
We often hear about the people who won't claim an association to a denomination. Instead, they say they're spiritual but not religious. So how do we connect with people who say that? Well, as clergy, it's often us wanting to share our religion with other people, but here at this beautiful space, we actually get to experience the spiritual, and we get to pull people in so that they feel the divine within. So maybe those people who are afraid to walk into the building or the structure of an institution can come out into nature and can experience God in the flowers or in the raindrops or in the colors that surround them. But there's this way of connecting with those who otherwise wouldn't connect with Christ in a real tangible way when they're at Emmerich. So you as clergy and me as a pastor who comes out here, we have the opportunity to do church in a different way. I like to call it doing new church in a new way. And through this pandemic time, we've learned that people are doing church differently. And we also learned with research that 30% of the people now won't ever go back to church because they like online church. But how do we get them to connect? Living Red will do that.
Emmerich is just a sacred place that it's not a phrase to me when I say that it's sacred land. It comes from this tangible feeling of Christ that is here. You feel him everywhere you go. It's just a knowing that he's here. And it makes me understand why we find it important to redefine ministry and why that needs to happen here. Because we're going to be doing church in a very different way. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. And here, you will feel something unlike you have ever felt before. So I know that it might sound crazy, but people who saw Jesus and followed him and saw his miracles, people thought that they were crazy until they experienced Jesus. And it's in that experience that everything changes. So when people live red, they will come here and experience Christ in a way they've never experienced him before, and they will become rooted in love.
A love that's so supportive and caring that you can't help but to trust fall into the beloved arms of our Creator. So won't you come and trust fall with us by living red?